Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Cooking for the Family. I'm Dyvonne and today I'm going to share with y'all how I make my enchiritos. Now some of you may have had enchiritos before at this place called Taco Bell, but I'm going to share with you how I make my pan of enchiritos at home. This is going to be enough to feed up to 6 people. It is very budget friendly. It comes out so good. It is easy to put together. These are the ingredients that we're going to be using today. Are y'all ready? Let's get started. So first in my pan, I'm going to go on and start with our beef. You can use either ground beef or either ground turkey. I've actually used both before, either ground beef or sometimes ground turkey. Today I'm using ground beef and this is 1 pound of ground beef. So with our ground beef, I'm using the ratio that I'm using. This is an 88-12 ground beef, so it's kind of considered to be a little more on the leaner side of ground beef, but if you have an 80-20 ground beef, you can definitely use that as well. So you want to go on and brown your ground beef and break it down some. So you don't want to have big huge chunks. You want to kind of break your ground beef down just like I'm doing there. And any excess drippings that you have in the pan, you want to drain your ground beef, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go on and drain my ground beef. So now that I've drained my ground beef and see there's nothing left in the pan, just the ground beef, I'm going to add then our seasonings. So this is the seasoning pack we're going to use. I like to use this one. It works really good. And so we're going to use just 1 pack of the burrito seasoning. Now, like I was saying, this is going to be enough to feed up to 6 people very easily. Now, if you're going to have folks over, you can definitely double up on the recipe and make 2 nice sized pans and you can feed up to 12 people. So I just go on and I follow the directions on the back of the package, which also include once you put your seasoning packet in, you're going to also add some water. And that was 1 1/4 cups of water that I added. Now, once you put your water and your seasoning in, mix everything together just like I'm doing here. And then we're going to go on and raise the temperature to a medium high and let this start to simmer, come to a nice simmer, just like it's doing now. And this takes about 5 to 10 minutes for it to come to a good simmer. And also what you'll see is that the liquid will start to thicken up a bit, and so you want to definitely let the liquid kind of thicken up just slightly once your meat starts to kind of like simmer in it. Now we're going to add 1 can of refried beans. Adding the refried beans is something that I like to do. The combination of the burrito mix with the meat and the can of refried beans really gives us that flavor that we're familiar with when it comes to getting enchiritos. And having that overall blend of like texture and taste, putting that can in really makes a difference. And it's not part of the directions that's on the back of the burrito mix. It's something that I really like to add in there. So once you add your beans in, mix, do a really good mix because you want to make sure that your beans are totally incorporated within your meat and the seasoning blend, and you don't want to have any streaks of refried beans. And it's going to look like this. Now we want to go on and let this start to simmer and see how it comes to a nice simmer, just like this. So this also takes maybe about another 5 to 10 minutes for the beans to get nice and hot and then everything just come together really well. Well, once we get to this point, I'm just going to go on and turn off my fire, and I'm going to put a top on our meat mixture and let it stay nice and warm while we get our tortillas ready. Now to go with our enchiritos, I have made some homemade Spanish rice, and in the description box below I will have a link to the video of me making Spanish rice, how to do that, but also in the description box below I have a list of all the ingredients you need to make the wonderful homemade enchiritos, as well as my recipe for my homemade Spanish rice. You'll find all of that in the description box below. So we're using the medium size, not the large, you want to use the medium size of flour tortillas. And so I'm going to be warming them on my comal, and we're going to be warming 12 flour tortillas. Now, if you don't have a comal like I'm using, you can warm your flour tortillas in a non-stick dry pan and just go on and warm them back and forth and flip them just like I'm doing. It is important that you do want to warm your flour tortillas through before you start to put together your enchiritos. The reason being is if you're just going to put them together without warming them and getting them more more pliable. You're going to have a hard time rolling them and forming them into enchiritos, as well as your sauce is not going to absorb as well with your flour tortillas. So once I've warmed up our 12 flour tortillas, it's time for us to put our enchiritos together. So we have our meat, we have our flour tortillas, and we're going to be using 1 can of this red enchilada sauce, and we're going to be using the whole can. So we're just going to put some in the bottom, just a little bit in the bottom, just to kind of cover the bottom part, so that way we don't want anything to be sticking to the bottom. And so I always like to put just a little bit, as well as when I'm making my enchiritos or when I'm making my enchiladas or anything like that, I always like to have some sauce that's going to cover a little bit of our tortillas. So now that I have the flour tortilla down, I'm going to use 2 good scoops, which is about a half a cup. So I'm going to use 2 good spoonfuls of our meat mixture, and you know what, y'all, I totally forgot to put some cheese in the inside. So I started to fold them, then I unfolded it. So you want to put a little cheese in the inside. Now the cheese in the inside is optional, but I do like to put a little bit of cheese in the inside. The cheese that I'm using is the Mexican blend cheese, and it goes perfect with this meal. And so again, you just go on and scoop up enough, a nice 2 good nice spoonfuls, which is about that half a cup. Once I put it straight down in the center, just like I did there, then I add the cheese right on top, and then you take your 2 sides and fold it in, and then you fold the part that's towards you, fold it away from you, and then roll it and tuck it. You want to have that seam side down. I'm going to show you again. So you take your tortilla, you put your meat right down that center part, just like that. And this is how you want to put it, down the center, just like I'm putting it there. Then once you have it down the center, add some cheese. You can put as much or as little as you like. Fold it, and then fold it again and tuck it. And as I'm tucking it, I'm rolling it. And that's what you're doing. You're rolling, you're making it into that burrito, and then the seam side down, and then you just kind of nestle it next to the other one, just like that. And so we're just going to continue to repeat this with the tortilla, some meat down the center, just like that. Going to put a little bit of the cheese right in the center on top, fold it, tuck it, and roll. You're going to do a tuck and roll, and we're just going to continue. Also, if you don't have any Mexican blend cheese, you can use Colby Jack cheese, or either you can use regular just cheddar cheese, a medium cheddar cheese, or mild cheddar cheese. Anything that you happen to have on hand, you can use one of those, either the Colby Jack or either the regular cheddar cheese, mild or medium. And again, we're just going to tuck and roll. You're going to do 2 rows, just like I did. We did 6 on the top row, 6 on the bottom row. And you know, I had a little bit of meat still, and so I warmed up 1 more flour tortilla, so that made actually a total of 13 that we did. And I just tucking it and rolling it, and we're going to put this last one right along the side, just right along the edge. Now, once we have all of our enchiritos rolled in our casserole dish, we're going to put the rest of our enchilada sauce, just pour it all over the top, and make sure that you're getting the sides, the corners, and a little bit, make sure that's going in between of our enchiritos. And so while I'm doing this, I have my oven is preheating on 375 degrees. And hey, if you are liking this video so far, don't forget to show it some love and give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you in. And for my returners, I want to thank you for coming back. Now we're going to go on and top our enchiritos with our cheese, and again, the Mexican blend cheese. And you want to make sure that you go all the way back and forth around the sides and around the edges. I'm going to end up using 1 cup of my Mexican cheese blend, but you can use as much or as little as you prefer. So once I have that on, we're going to put, of course, our sliced black olives. And with the sliced black olives, I'm going to use about a tablespoon and a half. And with the sliced black olives, you can put as much or as little on as you prefer, or if you don't care for them, you can totally leave them out. Either way, it's your choice. Next, I'm going to cover our enchiritos with some foil, and we're going to put it in our oven, and it's going to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. You want to bake it till the cheese melts, and also it's going to be nice and bubbly around the sides. Our enchiritos are out of the oven. They have baked up for 30 minutes now. It is looking really good. And about at 20 minutes, I like to always check it. And so it was coming along really good. So now it's been 30 minutes. It is looking good. And if you see right around the edge, we are still bubbling right there around the edge. So it's super hot. We're going to let this cool for about 10 minutes before we go on and dive in. Well, I've served this up some of the Spanish rice that I made, and it is going to go so well with our homemade enchiritos. So let's go on and serve us up some. Let's see how we did. Let's see how it's looking. Oh, it's nice and cheesy. And this is going to go great with the garden salad that I have chilling in the fridge. So we're going to add some salad to our plate as well. But let's go on and grab a fork. I want y'all to have the first bite. Let me get your bite ready. Oh my gosh, I think that we did it, y'all. The family always loves it when I make this meal. They really enjoy it. All right, here's your bite. I got some rice on there. We've got a little olive right there. Go ahead and take your bite. Okay, I'm going to take my bite. See how we did today. This is really good, y'all, and it is easy to put together, and it does not take a lot to make this meal. Well, I hope you give this recipe a try and make your own homemade Taco Bell enchiritos. Well, that is it for me today, y'all. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, go on and hit that subscribe button. It's free. If you like this video, don't forget to show it some love. Give it a thumbs up and click share and share this video with a friend or family. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. See you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.